Nandip, let me know when you want me to start the session.
Yes, I guess we can get started. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So good morning, everyone. I welcome you all on behalf of Pune Tech Community for our Agentic AI conference. Thank you so much to all the organizers for organizing this wonderful online conference, especially in the season of monsoon. So yeah, thank you so much. And my today's session is build and host enterprise grade AI agents with Microsoft Foundry. That means we are going to talk about two things. We are going to talk about Microsoft Foundry, and we are going to talk about how to build enterprise grade agents. Now, before we start it, let me share, let me start with my introduction. So I'm Krunal. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, MCT, as well as MCT community lead. I'm MCT for last 12 years and community lead for MCTs for last 10 years now. I'm also Microsoft MVP. This is my 10th year as a Microsoft MVP. In my daily life, I provide IT training and consultancy to various IT MNCs and startups all over the world. I have published the book. You can see the book cover on the screen. You can see my credentials. And with this, we are all set to start the session. So friends, this is the new era of AI agents, right? And in today's era, building AI agents is no longer the hard part. But once you build the agent, the difficult thing is how to manage them, how to govern them, how to operate them, how to track their performance. And for that, we have only one tool. Again, it's not a tool. For that, we have one platform, that is Microsoft Agent Platform. And in Microsoft Agent Platform, we have multiple tools available. We have multiple technology stacks available. If we can see from the left to right, we can build our agent with the help of code. And for that, we can use VS Code, we can use GitHub to get the AI assistant during when we are writing the code, to get the prompts. We have skills, we have tools, and we have evaluation of our definitions. And then we have Microsoft Foundry. Microsoft Foundry explores, gives you lots of models over there. We have around 11,000 AI models available in Microsoft Foundry. We can figure out our model based on, say, different providers, workloads, the features and functionalities, freely available models by GitHub, as well as the paid models. So for that, we have this Microsoft Foundry platform where we can figure out our models. Once the model is there, we can deploy our agent. We can connect that agent with the work IQ where we get the context of our enterprise. We can scale the agent, and for that we have Azure available here. We can have global scale, data zones, and the controls. We can manage the agents. We can observe the governance and performance. We can have guardrails, everything in one platform, that is Microsoft Foundry. So it is not one tool running in silos, but it is a platform. It is like, agent lifecycle from code to users, all connected via Microsoft Foundry. Once your agent is deployed, once your agent is working fine, you can publish it to uh, Microsoft M365 Copilot or Teams or apps and APIs. And again, you can distribute it to your users. Again, everything we can do in Microsoft Foundry. Even in Microsoft Foundry, we can connect our agents with other AI services like speech recognition service or language service. Everything is available only in one platform now. That is Microsoft Agent Platform. That is Microsoft Foundry. Now, if we talk about end-to-end life cycle of any agent building, we have three steps. The first one is build. It is like how to create the agent locally with the right framework, tool, and the right knowledge base. Second one is deploy. It is like how to take it from your laptop to production, how to make it secure, how to scale it. And again, the last one is operate. It is like how to monitor it, how to evaluate the quality of the output, and how to improve it over the time. And each phase builds on the last one. So deploy is based on the build and operate is based on the deploy. Now, when we talk about the build phase, many of the times developers are facing some challenges. It is like, how do I build with the framework which I am already familiar with? Or how do I ground my agent on company's knowledge? And third question that we generally face is like, how do I give my agent governed, secure access to the tools and data it needs? That means the technology stack, whether you want to build your agent with C# or with Python, I mean, your family technology stack you need, and you need to connect the agent with your data source, which gives the organization's data. And third one is governance. So here with Microsoft Agent Framework with Microsoft Foundry, we have many agent frameworks available. We can pick the one which we are already familiar with. So I'm going to show you that we can use Python, we can use C#, we can use the framework, the technology which we are already working with. The second one is data grounding. So again, here we have Work IQ, and we can connect our company's emails, documents, contracts, telemetry, everything to our AI agent. And third one is governed tool accesses. So here we can implement authentication, guardrails, policy enforcement for every integration every time. What Microsoft offers. So Microsoft has like agent harness in Microsoft agent frameworks. This is for the build phase. We have coding agent SDK integration to assist you while building the agent with the help of VS Code. And say you don't want to leave the VS Code, you want to do everything within the VS Code environment, then here we have Foundry Toolkit. And with the help of Foundry Toolkit, which is in general availability now, we get everything what is available in the Foundry portal to our VS Code. We have toolboxes available in Foundry. We have MCPs tools, which allows us to connect to various other APIs over there. Even we can have voice live integration with Foundry agent service. We just have to enable the toggle button, and then we can give the voice command. And we also have Foundry hosted agents. So it's like, your agents will be hosted in the containerized service, and that is managed by Microsoft. You can have your own container also, but by default, they give you the managed container. I'm going to show you all those things. Second thing is the deploy phase. Again, in the deploy phase, we have many challenges like, how do I take long running autonomous agents from laptop to production without rewriting the runtime? Like, how do I get my local agents into production with sub-second cold start and proper isolation? How do I get my agent in front of users where they actually work without rebuilding bot manifest or registering apps? For example, your users are already working with Microsoft Team or M365, I mean, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and you want your agent to publish to their existing familiar environment. You don't want that, to work with my agent, my user has to go open another URL or open another application. No, for example, I was assisting one healthcare startup, and they were developing agents for doctors. And they are using their own software for the communication. And in their hospital, they were using Microsoft Teams. So they are like, I want to publish this agent to Microsoft Teams directly. We don't want another different endpoint to access the agent. Like, how to make the agent a first class teammate in the organization. Again, in your team's organization, you have multiple projects running on, and you want to publish it to multiple projects at the same time for multiple teams, right? So again, how to do all these things, and the all solution is available with Microsoft Foundry. And the third one is like operate. How to monitor cost, performance, and usage across agents, how to enforce compliance and data access policies, how to detect and mitigate unsafe or failed behaviors, and how to keep improving agents' quality and cost, turning prompts, tools, and model choices. So again, we have various agents playground. We can do everything with Microsoft Foundry. It's like, nowadays in hosted agents, we have tracing and evaluation available. We have rubric for custom evaluation. We have agent optimizer in Foundry, and we have procedural memory in Foundry agent service. So throughout the day, when you go through various sessions, they are going to talk about evaluations, guardrails, and everything. So what your agent can give you in form of a response, what it cannot give, what it has to block, what prompt it has to block, and what response it has to block, what are the various categories, how much second it took to produce the output, which request is getting failed. Everything we can check it out in the tracing and evaluations. We can have custom rubric for the evaluations also. So that's what everything is available with Microsoft Foundry. So Microsoft Foundry is not just one tool, it is a complete agent development framework. And with this, let us start our demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm having my VS Code available here. And in my VS Code, I have already opened the folder called building agents. So in short, I have created one, you can say, empty folder. And that empty folder I have opened with VS Code here. I'm going to build entire project with the help of VS Code only. And then I'll show you that project is available in Microsoft Foundry portal too. So this is what say your existing environment. And now I click here on the Azure. So first of all, from the extensions, I have installed Azure and I have installed Foundry Toolkit. Both extensions are installed. Look at this one. This is what my Foundry Toolkit. It is available over here. So now when I click on Azure and I'm already logged in with my Azure account, I can see my various Azure subscriptions here. So two things, you need Azure extension and you need Foundry Toolkit extension. This is my Foundry Toolkit extension. This Foundry Toolkit gives you entire Microsoft Foundry portal resources in your VS Code, which is very powerful. Now, first, I want to create a new Foundry project here. So I'm going to open my VS Code command palette. And for that, I just press Ctrl+Shift+P. And here we have this option called Foundry Toolkit, Create Project. So I'm going to select Foundry Toolkit, Create Project. It is asking me to select the subscription. I'm going to select my Azure sponsorship subscription. And now they're asking me to select the resource group or create the new resource group. I'm going to create new resource group. And it says enter the resource group name. So I just write RG Pune Agentic Day and enter. I have to select the location. So I would like to go to East US 2. And now it's asking me to enter the project name. So it is like, Pune AI agent project. It's validating. Yes, I just hit enter. And here you can see it's creating the project. It might take a minute or so. So with this, my Foundry project is getting created. So now if I go to Foundry portal, I will be able to see this project over there. Let's wait here for a minute. Yeah, the project is deployed successfully. Hardly, even it's not taking the minute. Hardly in a minute, it has deployed the project successfully. And now if I go to this Azure, and if I go to this Foundry toolkit here, I will be able to see that project here and take a look here. I get Pune AI agent project. So this newly deployed project is available here in the VS Code. Then are the options like models, agents, tools, knowledge, evaluations. Everything is available here. Now, when I click on the models, look at this screen here. As of now, I have not deployed any model. So what I have to do, I have to create the model. I have to deploy the model and then model would be available. We have the option here, this plus symbol to deploy new AI model. Same way here, we also have in the right hand side like add model. Also here in Foundry Toolkit, we can see model catalog. And if I click on model catalog, you can see as I mentioned, we have around 11,000 models available. So we can see various models. We have models based on various categories. It is like here you can see, you can jump to popular models, Foundry hosted models, GitHub hosted models. GitHub hosted models are probably free, but with the limited capabilities. And it's not guaranteed that every time this model is available for you to work with. I can also see the providers is like, we can filter the model hosted by Anthropic, Foundry on Windows, GitHub, Google, NVIDIA, Olama, Onyx, OpenAI. We can see the publishers here, Anthropic, Cohere, DeepSeek, Fireworks, Google, Grittle, Meta, Microsoft. If I go to Microsoft here, then I get all the models which are developed by Microsoft. Also, here we have feature. It is like you want to work with the model who can do web search, who can generate structure output, who can work with image, text, audio attachment, video attachment, who allowed you to talk to other tools, so tool use. Also, we can export the model by model type, like local run with CPU, local run with GPU, local run with NPU, remote access model, the models where fine tuning is possible. So you can select the model of your choice. What I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about popular models, and I'm going to select GPT-5. For that, let me go to OpenAI, popular. So here we have OpenAI GPT-5, and I can deploy this model. So I just deploy. I just click on custom deploy. So now I'm deploying the model. Look at this thing. The model is getting deployed to the project what we have just created. Along with that, we have that connected AI resource. Model I'm going to deploy is GPT-5. I have to provide deployment names. I just write GPT-5, Pune Agentic Day. I want to go for global standard deployment, upgrade once the new deployment version is available. We can have the model version, we can have tokens limit over here. And by default, Microsoft has given you the default version 2 content filter. It is the Microsoft default bare minimum guardrails, what you get here, the deployment info, and I just click on deploy to Microsoft Foundry. Yes, the model is deployed successfully. Is deployed here. I click on view details. And when I click on view details, you can see I get the deployment info. I have model name, deployment type, my email address, rate limit, token limit, provision state is succeeded, current date and time. I have the endpoint URL and the key, as well as content filter. So all the informations I can see here, right? Now, if I go to this models and if I expand it, let me refresh the project. Now, when I right click here, you can see I have two things here. I have option to copy project endpoint. I have option to copy project API key, and I can also copy Azure OpenAI endpoint. So I'm going to click on copy project endpoint and let me move it to this side. I'm going to paste here. This is what my project endpoint copied. And then I'm also going to copy project API key. It is the project API key I have. I go back to the VS Code now. Yeah. So we have this project endpoint and key is copied. Even if you need this model endpoint, you can copy it from here. And that would be the model endpoint. It is the model endpoint. So I copied everything over here. Also, let me copy my deployment name. So deployment name I'm going to use in my code. So this is what my deployment name. It is there. Now, let me log into Azure portal, friends. And I'm here already inside the Azure portal. And I'm just going to click on Foundry, Microsoft Foundry. I'm just going to select the Foundry here. And I have to find the project what just now we have deployed today. This is what we have deployed today. What is our project? Pune AI agent project. That is what we deployed today. I just go inside the Pune AI agent project. And here inside projects, you can see I have my project name. Now, basically, when we deploy this project here, I'm going to access it from the VS Code. So we have to provide some authentication. And not authentication, but we have to provide the roles, authorization, right? So I click on this project name here. And here I go to access control. And I'm going to assign a particular role to the user. So I just go to add role assignment. And here, say we have certain role that we have to enable. It's like, first of all, if I search for Foundry, I have these two roles. One is Foundry account owner and one is Foundry user. The third role which I have to enable is Azure AI developer. So I'm going to select Foundry again and say Foundry account owner. Next, I'm going to select the member. I'm going to select myself here. And this is my email address. I'm just going to select the user here. And next, and review plus assign. Again, I'm going to add another role. Again, I go to Foundry and I just select Foundry user. And I select it. I go to next and review plus assign. And my last role, I have to create. Again, I search for Foundry. I select Azure AI developer. And review plus assign. So we have these three roles assigned. Again, I'm going back to my VS Code. So now from the VS Code, I can connect to my Foundry project and I can deploy the model. I can create the agent within that Foundry project. I can host it. I can do a lot of things over here. So now when I'm here in my VS Code, again, what I'm going to do is I just open my command palette and I'm just going to search for Foundry Toolkit, create new hosted agent. So now I'm going to create new agent. Now that agent is going to use the model which we have already deployed and also underlying Foundry project. So I'm just going to select again, create new hosted agent. And now look at the options available here. Like we can develop the agent in the Python as well as with the C#.NET. So I'm going to select the Python. I can use Copilot SDK, Agent Framework SDK. I can bring my own SDK or even I can use LangGraph. So I'm going to select Agent Framework here. We have ready-made templates which will create the skeleton of the project for you. So like if I select the basic template, so I will get multi-turn conversation with the response tracking. Very simple. If I go for workflows, I get like, sequential workflow here. In short, multi-agent scenario I can enable. I can create 3 agents. The output of agent 1 will go to the agent 2 and output of agent 2 will go to the agent 3. I can have caller agent, I can have executor. So these all are the templates, in other words, you can say. So I'm going to select basic for this demo. And again here, what protocol type you want to use. I want to use response protocol. This is based for most of the agents, like, and it will manage your conversation history, streaming, and background execution. I'm going to select response. And now I go to next. So this is what my workspace folder where they are going to create the project skeleton. And here you can see by default, it is using the model deployment, my model name, which we have just deployed GPT-5. Instead of Pune, I mentioned Pine, but that is what agentic AI this model is going to use. I click on create, it is deploying the agent and it hardly takes a minute and it is done. And now if I go to File Explorer here, look at this project skeleton. Now I have my entire application skeleton is ready. If we see here, we have this azure.yaml file. It is all about my project name and all the details. What my runtime is Python 3.13, entry point is main.py file, response protocol version 2 is getting used. From the environment variable, it is going to read my model deployment name and model and value of that model deployment name. The container resource is like, 0.5 and 1 GI. This is what the default, but I can also update it. If I go to source here, and if I look at this .env file, so here you can see I have my Foundry project endpoint, and I also have my model deployment name. It is going to create the container internally. So you can see the Docker file. So it's going to use Python 3.12 Slim as a base image, create the work directory app, copy everything from the user agent, make it as a work directory. It's going to run requirements.txt file. If it is not executed, then it's going to install the packages from requirement.txt file and expose it on port number 8088. And then it's going to execute the command in the Python main.py file. Now this is what my requirements.txt file. And here you can see it's going to install Agent Framework Foundry and Agent Framework Foundry hosting. For the debugging purpose, it is also going to install debug py package. And yes, that is what we have. And if I okay, so these are the files what we have understand so far. Now what I'm going to do here is I have to install these packages, right? Okay, let us see main.py file also. So here we are going to import OS module, and then from agent framework, we import various packages like agent, Foundry chat client, response host server, default Azure credential that's going to validate you against your Azure subscription. It is like, .env, it will load the environment variables. So here first we load the environment variable, then we create the object of the Foundry chat client. Now we get the endpoint and the model deployment name. We validate it using our Azure subscription, and then we create the object of agent where we pass this client, and we are defining one instruction. It's like you are a friendly assistant, keep your answers brief. Whatever instructions you want to give here, that you can give here. So this is what the basic main.py file. Now what I want to do, I want to update this main.py. So I already have my content, and this is what very simple agent I have created. And what this agent is going to do is like, is going to explain like I am an executive agent. And the job is to translate complex technical or operational information into clear, concise, and outcome focused summaries. And this is what is the audience. So I have provided the structure prompt here. I define the persona. I define the persona. I define the purpose. I define the audience. And now the role, what it would do, what it would not do. So like, rephrase the input so it is understandable to a non-technical audience, prioritize clarity, brevity, outcomes, remove technical jargon, logs, metrics, explicitly call out business impacts, and it's going to provide executive summary. Response will be under 100 words. If input is unclear, ask for clarification. Do not add facts beyond the input, right? And always use this wording. Is going to use what happened, business impact, next step. This way it's going to provide the output. But now, before we run the agent and we test it, we need to install the necessary packages. So what I'm going to do is, let me open the terminal window. And here, first of all, I'm going to create a virtual environment. It's creating the virtual environment for me. Now it takes some time. So virtual environment is created. You can see we have this .vnv is ready. Next, I'm going to activate this virtual environment. So here this command will activate virtual environment. So you can see the virtual environment is activated here. And now I'm going to install the packages from requirements.txt file. So I'm going to install these packages here. Okay, I have to go to the path because my requirement.txt file is inside source folder and agent framework. So let me change the directory. I just say go to source and agent framework basic response. And now I'm going to install the package. And yes, installation is started. Now here I can see the question, like what are the difference between agent framework versus Copilot SDK framework? Now the concept is what, friends? Agent framework is more about the thinking layer. It is like, what agent can do, what tool it has to use, right? Um, Planning, memory, multi-step reasoning. And for all of these, the thinking process is required that we can achieve with the help of agent framework. Guardrails, right? That is what today I have developed this application with the help of agent framework, right? So it has to understand the request, then it has to perform some action, it has to take the decision, then it has to again take some action, it has to generate the response, it will send the email. So all those things are taken care by the agent framework, right? And for that, we have this OpenAI agent framework, LangGraph, semantic kernel. These all are the agent frameworks over there. But Copilot SDK focus on the user experience. It helps you to embed your AI into your application. It's like, how does your application talk to the user, right? It's not about how does the AI think. Now, how does the AI think? That is agent framework. How does your application talk to user? That is Copilot SDK. So you can have chat UI, streaming response, conversation state, UI actions, embedded AI. That is what we can do with the help of Copilot SDK. And the OpenAI agent SDK, it sits firmly in the agent framework category. So again, OpenAI agent SDK is part of agent framework, right? Copilot SDK is more about how you convey your message, and this OpenAI agent SDK and agent framework is about, again, as I mentioned, tools, memory, guardrails, thinking process behind it. Meanwhile, yeah. So here, meanwhile, my packages are packages are installed successfully. And as my packages are installed successfully, now I'm just going to log in to my Azure account. So for that, I'm going to use easy login using device code. So this is the code and this is the URL. I have open here. I just enter the URL code and select my credential, continue, and that's it. So now it will ask me to select my subscription. Yeah, so I have 5 subscription. I'm working with subscription number 4. That is what only I want to use. That's it. So I'm logged in with my particular subscription here. I've selected the subscription, and now first I want to test it locally, and to test it locally, I'm going to do Control Shift P. Again, I open my uh, command palette. I'm going to select my Python interpreter, and I'm going to select the interpreter from my this virtual environment here. So the interpreter is also selected. It is selected here now. Once the interpreter is selected, now I'm going to run it. So I'm going to do Control Shift D command, and it will open. Ultimately, you click on this play button, or if you just do Control Shift D, here we have the option. It's like debug local agent HTTP server. So right now I'm going to test it in the local agent server. Let me click on this start debugging. It is running. It is running. So now if I go to Foundry toolkit here, and here we have agent inspector. I'm going to open agent inspector. It is like your local playground. Right now it is disconnected. And again, I just click on this run button. Connect. It's running. And now it is connected. So look at this screen. It is connected. It says debug local agent HTTP server is running here. This is what I get my playground. Here I can see the traces. Right now we do not have any traces. I can start collector, which it will collect the traces and all the events happening. Let me close it. I get the input and output. I have events. I have tools. I can explore everything here. And now I'm here in the playground and I'm going to enter a prompt. Like if you remember what was the uh, role of my agent, the role of the agent is to make the request very simple. Like if you see here, what it says, you are in and explain like I am an executive agent. Your job is to translate complex technical operational information into clear, concise, outcome focused summaries. So I put a prompt. The API had 2-second latency spikes after the v3.2 release due to thread pool execution. And now I'm going to send this one. Look at this thing. It gets the content here. Role is set. Agent is working. It has authenticated 200. Okay, authentication is done successfully. And if you see, it's going to talk to my Pune AI agent project resource service at ai.azure.com. So this is what is talking to my particular endpoint. This endpoint here we have stored. So it's making a request to this endpoint. And here, if you understand the flow, to scroll up, look at the method is post. This is what my URL, this is what my endpoint URL, status code is 200, and I get the response over here. This is what my entire system message. Senior leaders with this, your job is to translate complex query, rephrase the input so it understandable, what you must do, prioritize clarity, brevity, outcomes. So entire message, my entire instructions are going here like a system message. And then what language we use and all these details we get here. Service name is Azure AI Agent Service. We set role, assistant, everything. And finally here we get the response. And if we see the response here, we get this executive summary under 100 words. That is what is working fine. My agent is working correctly here in the agent playground, and now I have the option I can deploy the agent. So here you can see right hand side I have this deploy. Even if I show you, if I go to traces, events, now here you can see I get all the events what take place internally. First response created, response in progress. So if you see here, response completed, response outcome, response completed, and here we get the entire reasoning response. We can trace everything. We can start collector, and lots of facilities are available here. Now I'm going to click on deploy button. Now this is what we are going to deploy hosted agent. So I have two options. I can go for a code. I can go for the container. I just select the container here. Then I'm going to select default ACR. It is Foundry manage container registry would be created. I can also go for custom ACR. I can have my custom ACR image. And this is what my name, agent framework, agent basic response is with Pune. I click on next. Now it's asking me to select the CPU and the memory. I just going to select one core CPU and I just click on deploy. Now look at this thing. It is going to connect to my Azure portal, is setting up the container registry. No existing ACR found. It is creating new ACR. New ACR is created. ACR roles have been assigned. Container registry is created successfully. Now it's pushing, building and pushing container image. Image building is done. Files uploaded successfully. Build is scheduled successfully for this particular image. Again, it takes a minute. Build completed successfully. So now my image is also available in this container registry in the Azure portal. And if you pull this image, in that case, you get that entire agent, right? And you can make it enable. Yes, build completed successfully. An agent is in progress. This is what my agent playground here, but agent is successfully deployed. If I go to details, this is what again my agent detail, my agent name, agent code asset, agent ID, protocol, agent is status is in progress. This is my endpoint URL, deployment type. Now my agent is in running mode. You can see is running. Endpoint URL, deployment type is container, number of CPU core is used, and memory is 2 gigabytes, something like that. Now it is up and running. So let me show you in the Foundry portal. So I'm just going to log into Foundry portal, ai.azure.com. It is the Foundry portal here. Now I click on Start Building here. And here, I click on New Foundry URL. It's asking me to select the project, and I'm going to select the project what today we have created. This is the project, Pune Agentic AI project. We see here, if we cross check here in the VS code, project is Pune AI agent project. So that is Pune AI agent project. And let's go. Okay. So now here you can see I have my API key here again. I have my project endpoint. I have Azure OpenAI endpoint. Apart from that, if you see the right hand side, we have these tools which are very important. Discover, build, operate, docs. If I go to discover, again, I can see all the models available over here. Here we have models by popular providers like Azure OpenAI, Anthropic, Microsoft, Meta, Mistral, DeepSeek. That means everything is available here in the portal, what I show you in my VS Code. So either you can go to the portal or even you can get that entire Foundry portal content resources in the Foundry toolkit in your VS Code. Now, if I go to models here, or if I go to agents here, let me go to agents. These all are the built-in agents available that we can use, but I click on build here, and here inside agents, this is what the agent just now we created today. It is agent framework, agent basic response Pune version 1, status is running, type is hosted. It is updated today, right now. This is the version. I just click on this agent here. And very importantly, friends, here, look at these options. From the same place, you can fine tune models, fine tune agents. We have tools. We can have our knowledge where you can have work IQ. You can connect your enterprise data source, memory, data, evaluation, guardrails. Everything is possible. And also here you can see for this agent, we have the playground right now. It shows me the agent details, code asset. I don't have anything. Protocols, response version 2, guardrails. This is what manage guardrail. As I show you, Microsoft default content safety 4. Here it will prevent. It will give you the prevention or security against jailbreak, indirect prompt injection, sensitive data leakage, task drift, protected materials. You can have your own guardrails that you will see in the other, sessions, right? And as I mentioned, if I enable it, it will enable the voice mode. Right? With just one toggle, the voice mode will be enabled over here. I have to speak my prompt and it will generate the response. Here we get the traces. We can see the entire conversation and the particular session. Right now, we don't have anything. We can monitor the agent here. What is the operational metrics, evaluation, schedule evaluation, run and token metrics, agent runs. These are the evaluation, and you can create your custom evaluation also here with the help of create. But again, it out of the scope of this session. I just go to playground and I'm going to paste the same prompt what we have. And if I click on enter, you can see the entire log streaming is there and it has generated the summary, right? I can see the traces from here. 100% safety is there. AI quality is 100%, and that is what is working fine, all right? And it still takes time to connect AI agent and all. I mean, app inside and all. And if I go to the publish, you have the option. It is like if I want to set up a routine is the new thing here. With the help of routine, like, we can make the agent idle. That is like, it is a routine that you are going to sleep from night 11 to morning 6. But if some particular event is getting triggered, then you will awake automatically. And if no requests are coming, again, you go to the idle mode. So that means you can set the trigger. Previously, we used to do it, but we have to use logic apps and triggers and all. Now, with the help of routine, we can set up the routine for the agent when it goes to idle, when it awakes. All those things we can do here. This is the preview web app. And this is we can publish to Teams and Microsoft 365. This is what the agent name. You have to select the bot service here. So once you create the bot service, and then you can connect it with the Microsoft Teams over there. Right? We don't have any bot service available over here, but that is how it works. So with this, we have wrapped up our session, our today's session. I hope you all like the session and we understand that Microsoft Foundry is not just one tool. It is a platform where you can build simply any framework, local development, scaffolded by AI, and running in minutes, right? We can deploy powerfully. We have secure isolated execution, long-running agents, proactive routines, and we can operate with trust. Full observability is there. We have AI-powered optimization, procedural memory, lots of things available over here. We saw the demo. And before I wrap up the session, here are the scanners. You can scan my YouTube channel, Purple Skill, where I deploy AI exam masterclasses free of cost, small AI videos, Python videos, cloud videos, GitHub Copilot Masterclass series I have started as of now. So feel free to join me on the Purple Skill. You get AI, cloud, and tech content here, and that is what my LinkedIn scanner. So you can connect to me over the LinkedIn. All right. So thank you so much, friends. I hope you all like this session. And thank you so much, Nandi, Kunj, and the Siddharth and entire Pune Tech community team.
All right. Thank you very much,